And some of them were given, like Samantha, when I saw the Disney characters, I assumed that because she loves Disney so much, the chemistry project was going to revolve around the Disney characters, and it did. So, good job on your chemistry project. They were interesting. When are you going to get them home? Never? She keeps them? Okay. Also, we're going to get started. Very quickly before we even begin, if you emailed me your personal statements to print, I have them. Okay? I was able to try and print all of them earlier this morning. If you didn't print them, but you gave me a hard copy on Friday, then I also have them. I will leave my last week. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that your final draft for your UC prompts are due this Friday. Okay? Then your Common App one is due on Tuesday. That way you have a 3-day weekend to kind of formalize it, kind of finish it, and turn it in. Okay? So, very quickly, you guys are sitting in your writing groups. I did switch them up a little bit. So at the center, you'll find the heads of each table. You have Savito representing table 1, Nick representing table 2, Hector representing table 3, and Dominic representing table 4. Okay? There's a lot of paperwork that you're going to get. Earlier today, due to time, we kind of had to fluctuate the lesson a little bit. So when you do get the questions that you're going to be answering for your peers, you're only going to have to answer a 6, and the 6 are numbered up there. Okay? So, before we begin, there are a couple of things that I'm going to have you go through with me and jot down so that we know what we're doing. Based on the data that I got from you guys and your peer review comments a week ago, there were a couple of changes that need to be made. That's why we're going to go ahead and personalize it a little bit more. Have a seat there. That's why this time we're going to personalize it a little bit more. That way we do a better job of making sure that we get feedback. Remember that last year, 2013, when you guys started your junior year, how were we giving that feedback? Yeah, we weren't so good at it, right? We were so shy and timid, and we got really hurt when someone would say something about our papers. So you guys have come a long way, and I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do within the last 2 weeks of school when you guys peer edit. So, peer edit with perfection tutorial. Okay, peer editing is fun. Working with your classmates to help improve their writing can be lots of fun, but first, you have to learn what it means to peer edit and how to do it. Okay, so, moving forward. What is peer editing? A peer is someone your own age. You guys are going to be peer reviewing your papers. Editing means making suggestions, comments, compliments, or making changes to writing. Peer editing means working with someone your own age, usually someone in your class, to help improve, revise, and edit his or her writing. Okay? So essentially, ladies and gentlemen, today you guys are going to be reading 2 of your peers' essays. Okay? And when we get into it, you guys are going to have all the paperwork that you need to go through it. The 3 steps of peer editing. There are 3 important steps that you're going to be following today. One of them is make sure that you give compliments, because usually when we peer edit, we're always very quick to misjudge someone or to say something negative about their writing. Okay? But we often miss giving back good feedback. Okay? Maybe they wrote a really interesting opening in their introduction. Commend them for that. Okay? Step 2, make suggestions. Remember how I said last week, if one of the sentences in their paragraph doesn't make sense, don't just say, you know what, this doesn't make sense, make sure you rephrase it. Why not stop, reread the question, or reread the sentence to yourself, and see how you could potentially change it. Okay, so you're making a suggestion in the sense like, hey, maybe if you do this, it's going to sound better, and give them an example of what that looks like. And we're going to go ahead and work on an example shortly. Okay, and then step 3, make the corrections. And this time, you're going to have a series of editing marks that you're going to follow. Okay, so it's going to be a little more serious than last week, only for the fact that your final is due on Friday. Compliments. The first rule of peer editing is to stay positive. Remember, you're helping to change someone else's work. Think about how you would feel if someone were telling you what needed to improve in your own writing. I'll take Andrea's for example. Last week, she had 2 people peer edit her papers. They didn't really make any changes to her papers. When I got a hold of it, I made a whole bunch of corrections on her essay. So it leads me to believe that the people who were peer reviewing her essay didn't do a very good job at it. Okay, because there was absolutely no comments. There were a little bit of comments here and there, but nothing to really help her with her writing. You need to make sure that even if you think that person is a good writer, don't assume that everything is perfect, and that there are no corrections to be needed, because most likely than not, there has to be something changed somewhere, okay? Compliments. Always start your peer editing with compliments. Tell the writer what you think he or she did well, okay? For example, I really loved your topic. Maybe go a little bit further and tell me why. I think you used a lot of good details, such as, make sure you go further. I like when you use the word blank and then tell them why. My favorite part was blank because this, that, and that, and this. Okay, just make sure you give them the why or the how. My favorite, sorry, I read that already. This was really fun to read because maybe you're reading somebody's personal statement that really got to you and it excited you. Explain it. Okay, let them know. I like the way you, and then keep going further. Some of your personal statements are very good, so when people read them, they might like them. Okay, but remember, don't steal any of your peers' thoughts. Okay? Read the paragraph on the next slide. Record 3 compliments about the paragraph that you would tell the author if you were peer editing this paper. So again, I'm about to show you a quick little paragraph up on the board. What I want you to look at is what compliments you could give the author of this written paragraph that I'm about to show you. Remember, we're doing compliments. Because I already know the minute that I put the paragraph up there, you guys are going to be pinpointing all the errors first. Right? Because that's what we do by nature. Okay? Try to give compliments first. When you read the paragraph, I'm going to read it out loud, then I'm going to allow you to read it to yourself. I'm going to have you guys discuss it with your partners at your table. Maybe we'll do triads over here when we do a group of 3. And discuss it, and then share out what compliments you gave this writer. Okay? So remember, you're going to jot down 3 compliments on your interactive notebook. Here we go. We were all over my aunt's house when my dog Riley was running around like crazy. He was chasing me around in circles. All of a sudden, I looked and Riley, he was in the pool, swimming in my aunt's pool. I couldn't believe my eyes that the dog was in the pool. I dashed to the pool and jumped in and swam over to Riley and pulled him to the steps. He got out and shook all over us like a sprinkler on a hot day. I was glad Riley was okay and that I saved him. Read it to yourself, write down 3 compliments, and discuss with your partner what 3 compliments you took from this paragraph. And when you're ready, go ahead and discuss what compliments you chose from this paragraph.
I like how you put the narrative from how the dog was shaking in the water, how you hear it to right there on a hot day.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I like his analogy, like how you compare things. I also like how it was like the kind of story you said, like pretty simple, but it has a nice, it's like a nice story too.
Yeah, it shows that all the pretty much he described a lot of stuff, like we kind of pictured everything going on.
There was like so many errors in the first line, I want to go and correct it. How many of us felt like that when we read it? Again, we're very quick to judge and we're very quick to criticize people and name the negatives, right? Remember that exercise we did a couple of weeks ago where I had you guys tell us why you were unique or why other people were unique and it was so hard for you to do? Again, because it's easier for us to make fun of people than it is to compliment people. Okay, so let's give this author 3 compliments. Okay? First row. Could someone in the first row give me a compliment in this first paragraph? Go ahead, Emma.
It was easy to understand.
It was easier to understand. Why?
Well, I don't think it was easier, but it was easy to understand. So.
Why? So what did this person do in the introduction paragraph that was easy to understand? You have to give me the why.
Very basic. I mean, like anybody can understand it. I think like put it in really basic stuff.
So what is basic?
Yeah, basic.
The vocabulary, yes? The vocabulary is easy for you to understand. Row 2, give me another compliment. Go ahead, Delaney.
They will be able to create an image and better my head.
so we was maybe using imagery to help you visualize what was going on. Very good. Table 3.
I like that they use the simile of the dog like a whistler and that they use a lot of detail.
Ah, very good. So we're picking up those literary devices. And last but not least, let's get one from table 4.
The writing never seemed really dull, and like it was very expressive.
Very good. It was very expressive. Now, when we're reading this paragraph, yes, there are a lot of errors that we need to do, but we always have to remember that there are compliments that we need to pay to those people that might not be very good writers, because you have to keep in mind that writing is very difficult to do. So when you're giving someone a compliment who may not be a good writer, it boosts up their ego just a little. Okay? Now, let's try this. We're focusing on suggestions now. So making suggestions means giving the author some specific ideas about how to make his or her writing better. Remember to stay positive and be specific. Instead of, it didn't make sense, right? Because that's not going to help us. As soon as we put that on our paragraph, okay, what did it make sense? Be more specific. You can say, if you add more details after this sentence, it would be much clearer. Or it would be more clear, sorry. Instead of, your word choice was boring. Say, instead of using the word good, maybe you can use the word exceptional. Okay? I'm a stickler for this one. Okay? Remember, you have to be cognizant of your word choice in your essays. You have to be formal. Okay? You know I don't like the words such as good, get, thing, stuff, speak, something, anything, everything. Be more specific. Okay? Here are some areas that you may want to make suggestions about. Word choice. Remember, we're talking about diction here. Did the author choose interesting words? Using details. For example, seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, which again is tapping into the literary device of imagery. Organization. Can you understand what the author is trying to say? Is it in the correct sequence? So we're looking at the format. Okay? And then sentences, are the sentences too long or too short? That's where you're going to go into your simple, compound, or complex sentence structures. Topic. Does the author stick to the topic or talk about other things that don't really fit in? This one was a huge problem in second period. As we were peer reviewing each other's essays, there were so many essays that were going off topic. Okay, remember that you need to go ahead and make it tie down back to you. If you're talking about your family, your community, make sure it goes back to you. Okay? Read the paragraph on the next slide again. Record 3 suggestions about the paragraph that you would tell the author if you were peer editing this paper. Okay? So now, for those of you that were so anxious about making those corrections, now is your time to do so. Mark 3 down on your interactive notebook.